I'm trying to slay every monster in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate before Monster Hunter Wilds comes out. Last episode, I added Tetsukabra, Vespoid, Kutku, Daimyo Hermitar, Iopray, Gypsaros, Nibblesnarf, Mufa, Royal Ludroth to my list, and ended the video with an epic showdown with Malfestio. At the time of this recording, we have 60 days and 98 monsters left in this challenge. So let's get back to the grind, hunters. When I got back from hunting Malfestio, our local chef, the proprietress, had upgraded her facilities, and I had a new star level of quests to tackle. But before I took them on, I decided to have a quick nap. During the nap, I had the most wonderful dream that I was supplied with so many items for free from some god named Calm. And when I woke up, all of the items were in my item box. What a benevolent entity I was visited by. With my box more than stocked, it was time to tackle the classic queen and feel the wrath of the Rathian. The quest contract was from a caravan leader, and it read,
"Dang, Rathian! Ambushed my caravan and tore my business a new one. I ain't the getting mad type. I'm the getting even type. Time for some ice-cold revenge, and I want you to dish it out."
So that I did. Starting with a mosswine. Sorry, bro. But after that, I ascended the cliff face of the Forsten Hills because I had hunted Rathian here hundreds of times in the past, and I just knew I would find her protecting her nest. Nothing personal, Rathian, but I'm here to slay you. And with only one first aid med consumed in the whole fight. Whoa! Almost got me there, Rathian. It was over, without much effort. After the fight, I took the airship to Polke Village to see some sights, since they're trying to push tourism in the town. I talked with a few residents, including a Wyverian that is part of the Dragon Watch team that signals us hunters where the large monsters are from the balloons. I thanked him for his service and made my way to a mysterious cave nearby that held a massive mystery. In this cave, there is a sword of gargantuan size. The feline cave attendant told me a story of the ancestor of the chief of Poke herself. They said that generations ago, there was a giant Wyverian warrior that wielded this sword. They apparently had possum strength, and even took down one of the most vicious beasts to ever soar the skies. After slaying this unknown monster, the massive hunter left their sword here, and spent the rest of their days peacefully near this cave. Whether reality or fiction, it's still a really cool story. But I couldn't do anything here. Yet. So I moved on to the next quest in a new locale, the Arctic Ridge. To hunt the Brumal baboon, Blangonga. The fight was going well until he dug down and I mistimed my dodge, and then he came out at hyperspeed. This might be a little foreshadowing for later in the video. But I generally don't get mad at games because I place the blame on myself for not dodging properly. So I tracked him back to his home using his territorial dung. And round 2 it was. Again, this time I played even better. You could say I was learning, like a Saiyan in Dragon Ball Super, getting stronger as the fight went on. You could say that. So this time, I took my gamer rage out on the smallest Anteca I could find, climbed the Vine of Shame, and found more territorial dung. I mean, continued the fight. But I had to pull out all the stops to take him down. Yo, Franco with a pinball, let's go. And with dash juice and adrenaline running through my veins, and Gypsera's poison running through his, I was finally able to take down the mighty monkey, along with his smaller cohorts. After that struggle, I remembered my goal from the end of last video to upgrade my battle axes, so I buckled down and took a few harvest tours of the volcano to mine, slay Remobra, and in the end, finally got enough striped skin to upgrade my poison battle axes. And not to break the fourth wall, but at this point I took the thumbnail for episode 1 and forgot to change back. So I was underpowered for the next hunt in terms of defense, but my newly upgraded weapons had my back. And speaking of having my back, if you're enjoying this episode, please give it a like really quick. I put so much effort into these videos and try to make them as interesting and entertaining as possible. Just this episode alone is over 6 hours of 30-second clips from my Switch, edited together for you hunters. So subscribe if you haven't already to help me on this huge journey. Anyway, here comes our next opponent now. Volvidon. This fight was easy enough, and when I did get hit, I got pretty lucky.
No. Oh, you missed. Well, that's convenient.
But in the end, this fight was no problem. When I returned home, I decided that it would be fun to switch things up and try a different hunting style. I wanted to try a style that allowed me to counterattack. The two choices I had were Adept and Valor. The descriptions read, Adept style is all about waiting until the last second to evade or guard your foe's attacks, letting you perform insta-moves. It's difficult to pull off, but allows for devastating counterattacks. And Valor style. Valor style relies on sheathing to fill your gauge and enter a stronger, faster Valor state. Fill your gauge by using sheath-canceling attacks, and avoiding attacks with a sheathing stance. I decided to go with Adept style and take on our next opponent, Shogun Cianatar. I tested out my new style by swinging in the air a bit and counter-dodging a Bullfango. It wasn't a lot of experience, but I understood the basics, so I figured I would be fine. But I could not have been more wrong. I don't know if it was the bleed status that it could inflict on me with its blade-like pincers that would make me bleed out and take damage with every movement unless I stayed still and let my wounds close, the new style making me clumsy or take extra risks to counter, or the decade it had been since I fought this monster. But while I got some good shots in, Shogun Cianatar destroyed me. So I trekked back, took out a small Cianatar and an Uruktor, and faced the cleaving crustacean. But it humbled me again. And again, and I failed this quest. When I got home, I decided Adept style was not for me. At least not at this stage. So I switched to Valor to try it out and went back out. This style had a cool anime dash in place of my demon mode, which was strange, and I wasn't sure if I could break the habit of trying to go demon mode. And it also had weird, long animations for sheathing. But it did tell me to fill my gauge by sheathing and unsheathing, so that makes sense. So I oofed a few Kelby and went back to restart the crab battle.
Paramedic, I've encountered some kind of cave demon. I don't think I'll be leaving this place alive. Oh my god! It's looking right at me. Crab battle!
I was slain not once, but twice. By this time, I was pretty frustrated, but again, mostly at myself. How could I let myself be humbled so intensely by this oversized fancy dinner? On the third try, I finally realized the piece of the style that I was missing. The reason the sheathing animation was so long. That was the moment you triggered the counter. So with the form's powered up state and the new understanding of when to counter, I was finally able to slay the monster. While I can safely add Shogun Cianatar to my list, I failed this quest because in my frustration, I forgot this was a capture quest. The only way to succeed in this quest was to capture the monster, not slay it. So I had to go back and challenge it again. But this time, using all the tools I learned from my previous tribulations, I was able to capture the Cerulean Psycho. After that ordeal, it was time to stop being Snake and take one down, because my target was the Snake Wyvern, Naharala. For this battle, I switched back to my aerial style because this snake likes to coil around you and strike. But if you can hop over it, then it becomes trivial. After a fun fight, it was the end of this fright. Then I went on a grinding spree. Hunted 2 Lagombi at the same time, which was easy enough and helped me add Gia or Gaia Prey to my list, but took a while. Then I slew one of my favorite monsters, Nargacuga, took down 2 Kezu at the same time, which also took forever, but finished the last one with a bounce bomb, so that's pretty neat. And with those quests complete, the village chief was ready to deliver my next urgent quest. He said,
Perfect timing, Hunter. Uncanny, in fact. I have another urgent quest for you. A Yian Garuga has appeared in the Jurassic frontier, halting research in the area once again. Yian Garuga are fierce creatures, known for their aggressive natures and incredibly potent venom. Though everyone who works in the Jurassic frontier is prepared for the occasional danger, a Yian Garuga is too hazardous to be left unchecked. Please make haste, Hunter, and rid us of this menace.
So off I went to challenge the lone wolf bird wyvern himself. This dude was so cool when I first encountered him in Freedom Unite. Because I played Monster Hunter 1 and Freedom Unite, I had hunted so many Kutkus up to that point. And when Garuga showed up, it was insane. It felt like an Easter egg. Like, what is this variation? Because it was so aggressive and so strong compared to Kutku. So the grind to beat it was real back then. And in modern day, with my current equipment, I was getting flashbacks. But with my new experience from overcoming Cianatar and my newfound ability to counter and enter my ascended state, I knew I could defeat it. So I ate a big steak and got back into the fray. At this point, it was clear to me that I have to keep an eye out for its charge attack, because it was essentially one-shotting me. So, with my new experience from overcoming Cianatar and my newfound ability to counter and enter my ascended state, and now avoiding the charge attack, I knew I could defeat it. So I ate a big steak and got back into the fray. Thank you. With Garuga down and 5-star quests now becoming my standard, it was clear to me that I finally needed to make some new armor. So I looked around at all the possible armors that I could currently make, consulted many townsfolk and hunters, scoured through my guild card backgrounds for inspiration, and decided it was time to go full shinobi and make Nargacuga armor. Because then I could keep the crit eye +2 from my custom set and add evade extender, which is super helpful with dual blades, still have 2 decoration slots open, and gain 66 points of defense, while looking sick. The only downside is that the elemental defenses go way down, but honestly, I'm fine with that at this stage of the game. So I set my intention using my guild card background, and got to hunting some shadows. The grind was long, with many pit stops for rest and to gather various materials, but it was also incredibly fulfilling. I fought Shadowcat after Shadowcat, and after countless battles, I finally assimilated with the beast to forge the full armor set. And with my armor finally forged, and my sights set on the horizon, I took a short rest. Next time, we take on the Fated Four.